Okay, so nobody's getting the truth from the mainstream media, folks. It's well past time to open your eyes, your ears, and your mind. Do your own research because something isn't right here. And if you can't see that, you are not paying attention, folks.
It's the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations.
So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to zero. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. Now that's back from high school algebra, but let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
The important message that we need Australians to get vaccinated as quickly as possible. In line with that, I do encourage all Australians to please go and book your vaccinations as soon as you can if you haven't already done so.
Emma, get away!
When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Okay, we need to stand up against this tyranny, folks. Stop giving away your freedoms and liberties, because the more you give up, the more these people will take until you have absolutely nothing left. That's their agenda. All right. Okay, I got to talk reasonably, not get excited with my voice because, yeah, as you can probably tell, guys, I was at the rally yesterday and I was, I got a good Aussie call me on me. I can tell you, guys, it echoes across the place, and I lit them up a few times, and I'm paying for it today. I was paying for it yesterday before I even left there. Anyway, so I suppose, yeah, guys, the topic of the day is the rally on the weekend. And again, I'd like to say that, sorry, that we're pretty correct on this show at reading the environment, guys. We've been reading this environment for a long time. All right. As you all know, was well involved with Canberra. We ran it down there for 6 to 8 months, wife's telling me. So, yeah, it was very interesting to sit back and watch all this. And as a news show, guys, I am obligated to not give my personal opinion, although I may tonight. But not give my personal opinion, but actually supply the facts, all right, of what's been going on out there, all the so-called facts, because we know that a lot of the time the mainstream, which we use on here to, regulate the temperature, is telling bullshit. We've seen two houses, the same. We're seeing all this stuff again, guys. So, again, what we need to do here is put out the news, so you good people can go, hey, Lord, what am I going to learn from that? What's Dave and Caz saying here? You know what I mean? Well, Dave and Caz aren't trying to say anything, although, as I said, tonight I may just have a few words. So, firstly, there's an Aussie Caroline. I don't know if anyone knows her, all right? But if you do, reach out to her, all right? Because I'm not into sticking it into women. Okay, except my wife, if you want to take that as jest. Anyway, I'm not into having a go at women. Okay, but I'm not going to put up with shit neither. So, Aussie Caroline, you just want to pull your head in, right? You haven't commented for a while, so that's great. You know what I mean? And just keep it that way. All right, there's no need for you to jump in on other conversations and call me a grifter or a dickhead or whatever when you don't even know me. True Blue Rebel. Again, had no idea who True Blue Rebel was, some parody account. Now is that a parody account so that anything she says can't be taken against her? Who knows? But I'll tell you what, you want to call me a grifter, get your receipts. Come see me. We can do a live stream. We can come on the show. We can do whatever. But I'd be very interested in you jumping into a conversation between me and Beck and calling me a grifter. And then when I inbox you about it to ask you for receipts and would you like to go live on that topic because I can tell you some other stuff, and you block me from messaging you. I don't know. Anyway, we've got Greta on her way to Gaza. So the next part of the movie's playing out, guys. All right. They're going to use this now again. Big media hype. What's coming up? If she's heading from Spain over to Gaza, what are the government up to? What is the New World Order up to? They're up to something because she's a distraction for the general public. So let's get moving. We all know what's happened with the Nazis on the weekend, but we're going to cover it as a news show. Okay, as I said, I may even give some opinions tonight. Usually I don't. Okay, but let's go. Cazza.
Hey, how are you? Now, everyone, I just have to apologise beforehand. I've had technical difficulties by the, like, out of this world. Anyway, so the show must go on. So I'm actually not on my computer. I am actually just surviving at the moment. All right. Sorry?
Franco Tedesco's comment, I got to talk as little as I can. How dare you, Dave? Bit of satirical sarcasm, which us Aussies absolutely love, you know?
Exactly.
And he's not as good as an Aussie because he's a wog. But anyway, a good line, Frank.
Well, first of all, let's just have a look at what's going on all over the world at the moment, because it seems to be that this is happening just all over the world at the moment. And I can't remember who did this because I was in a rush. So that's pretty incredible. Now, also, you've got the Japanese calling their president, or their prime minister, actually, a traitor.
Mr. Shiba, you are the traitor. You are the cancer in Japan. Out of Japan just right now.
Must be Albo's brother. He's getting chased out of town. Isn't it good?
Oh dear. So you've got a lot of people really sort of all across the Western world. They're all standing up and basically demanding justice. So that's actually really good. So all right. So where do we start off? Let's have a look at what actually happened in Melbourne. Like some of the things that were bad. We've all seen the footage of Avi being punched and removed, and Rukshan. And can I just say that as somebody who was watching that live, it was just absolutely appalling. The two guys were just trying to do their jobs. Anyway, let's have a look at this.
Let's have a look.
See my little kids here? I wore that Aboriginal flag to show solidarity. March as one, together. And look what these fucking idiots have done.
I am Australian. You don't need to attack Australia, not Australia. Get out. Go fuck yourself.
Make two little girls cry over a bunch of Nazi shit. Fuck off!
Brother, 99% of us here are witches. We will protect your kids no matter what. And we'll protect you. Right?
That's the Aussie way.
That's the Aussie way.
That's the Aussie way.
Can I ask you, you served in the military, are you concerned that there's neo-Nazis that are on the stage right now?
It doesn't matter who's up there, as long as we're united against the same enemy. That's all that matters.
What do you think about this Nazi group that's just rocked up?
All right, so it goes on. It's just basically mixed opinions on it. You've also got this situation here
I'm bloody 80 in a couple of weeks, and I've come here today to show my support for Australia. We're trying to do a march once. They're here every single weekend.
So
Did you
that's
see that, guys? He removed his mask, spat in the old lady's face, and then put his mask back on. I mean, are you freaking kidding? But let me say, we warned you what was going to go down. Okay, now I'm going to have a bit of an opinion. Okay.
Oh, wait for two more bit. I've just got two more.
Okay.
Just wait for these ones.
Yeah.
So obviously they planned violence because in the two cities, I think it was, the two groups met. However, can I just say how incredibly, insanely proud I am of the Australians, because they did not buy into it, not one little bit. This person here actually had, she tells a story about the petrol.
Organisation brainwashing Australians. All right?
Listen to Sky News.
So this lady walked past.
So I was walking past down there, and I was just trying to keep the group moving because we came out all to be peaceful, and we just want to fly our flags. We're patriotic Aussies. So I was trying to calm down on some of the guys who were getting a little bit heated.
Past the pro-Palestine march, is that correct?
So we went past the Palestinians. I was just saying, come on, buddy, move on. And I smelled petrol, and I said, what's happened? He said, they threw petrol on me. And I've got it all on my video uploaded. They threw petrol on him, and I moved him along. And I reckon if I hadn't moved him along, what would have come next was a cigarette lighter. Now, why else are you throwing petrol? And we had the MPs come over last night. Susan Ley, Brad Button both condemned this march and told us to be peaceful. Every single person here has been peaceful, playing music, and we had petrol thrown on us, and they haven't said a thing about flag burning, abolish Australia, and we had petrol
and
thrown on us.
There was poo as well as urine.
Like vomit.
Yeah.
I thought it was porridge. It was actually vomit. So Susan Ley and Brad Button, how dare you? How dare you lecture us? Decent Aussies just wanting to fly a flag.
So we have that one, and then the final one I've got from Melbourne is this one.
Mel.
Oh, sorry,
Mel's
Mel.
in.
Mel, sorry, I'm struggling here to drive.
I've never seen you move that quick.
I've taken my camera off now.
Sorry, sorry,
All
guys,
good.
I'm struggling.
All good. We all know who she is. We don't hide.
Oh, now this is the people. This is who the people are. This is who we Australians are.
Beauty, rich and rare, in history's page, let every stage our time Australia fair.
We're here to support the country, man. Come on.
Do you love Australia?
I love Australia, bro. I love Australia. I would never move anywhere else.
110%. What do you feel about the crowd? Yeah, so my question is, what do you feel about the crowd here walking around?
I look at everyone. Oh, you have to support. The support that Australia has really touches me. I can't lie. It really
Has
does.
anybody here attacked you for your skin colour?
Surprisingly, we had a lot of love everywhere. Ever since we've been in the crowd. Come on, man.
I would do anything for him now.
Come on, man. We just need to support, you know?
And to be fair, why did you steal my height?
That is actually a pretty good line. All right, Dave, go.
Okay. Excuse me. So my opinion on everything that's gone down, guys. As I said, we've watched this for a long time. You know, I remember calling it out at Canberra, and we asked everyone, or I gave you decisions on what you think we ought to do today. Should we go up and walk into Antifa, or should we stay away and go to we split the ground up into 4 different areas on the lower ground there. And, 100 people from each quarter went out different ways, shopping centres, this, that, the other, because Antifa was turning up that day. And we foiled them. Okay, we found out about it. I told you that night down at Epic, that we found them, they were seen on a bus stop, pissed off, because the crowd wasn't big enough for them to go and infiltrate. So just trying to show you guys that we've been doing this for a little while. And when we went out, we didn't go out last week or the week before with that satirical piece and everything else that's been done by us, all right, which is dropping out all the info as it comes out. Why? Because we knew what they were going to try and do. Now, Why have they been able to do what they done? And I'm not, everyone's up to doing whatever they want to do. I understand this started organic, so did Canberra. That was organic. That was Jim Greer going, hey, I've had enough, man. I'm going to Canberra. I got on to him. We done a live. Next minute, everyone's just, it was Greery. It was choice. It was organic. Bit like what happened on the weekend. The problem was everyone knew us. Everybody knew us. We were out there. Okay. And I said, I'm coming with you, Jim. Someone else, I'm coming with you. Lance Brown, I'm coming. Yep, we'll be. Boom, boom. And it just went. This weekend was a bit the same. The problem being is the secrecy involved in the whole thing. It meant that the whole door was open for infiltration. Why? Because you couldn't stand up shoulder to shoulder. You couldn't look out for each other because it was all behind closed doors. And I think the freedom movement are not really good with secret societies and secrecies behind doors. And I think the NSN, etc., and the mainstream and the government, as we predicted, knew exactly how to play this. And then we fall into their trap and we have the NSN in at least 3 of them at the front of the march, taking over the stages. Okay. They say it was their event. Yeah, they reckon it was their event. I don't believe it was. But anyway, this is why I think it was able to be hijacked like it was, guys, because of friggin' secrecy. It doesn't work. We've all been asked a question. That's what we've learned in the last 5 years. Believe nothing. Fucking ask questions. But when you ask questions, you get crucified for it. Well, guess what? I don't care. I don't care who crucifies me. What you're going to get from me is the truth. We picked it. We put it out there for you. We tried to warn you. We didn't say don't turn up. I was there. With Mel and the dog. And a lot of other people. Okay, and it was great. But I'll tell you what we had at Belmore Park, by the time we got to, what is it, Victoria Park, it wasn't the same, guys. The crowd had gone down, I reckon, about 40%, because a lot of people with the march saw who was out front. People are watching live streams while they're walking. They're realising that the fucking Proud Boys or whoever they are out in front, and dissipated after they'd done the march and just went. I was watching them. They come into the Victoria Park and then they just started to go. And then who we got talking up there in Sydney? And I'm not having a dig at anyone. I'm just telling you what friggin' happened. We had so-called influencers. Yep. We had politicians. We had a lawyer, ex-serviceman. Thank you for your service, sir. But you're a lawyer. Okay. And we had Nazis. I mean, are you kidding? And other people couldn't get a look in to get a talk, you know what I mean? Until the open mic come. Okay, but hang on. We were told there was no influencers. We'd be told NSN would have nothing to do with it. Yet here they were out the front leading it like a bunch of Nazis, like they do. They've been on the news. They've been everywhere. Mainstream media's had a freaking field day with this. 5 o'clock this morning, they were hot on it. Go, Caz.
Yeah. Look, somebody's actually got, according to this person, it's one of their emails. So disclaimer, this may or may not be one of the emails that's going around was going around the media last week. So it says this Sunday the 31st, the nationwide demonstrations will require careful editorial coordination. Although turnout may be significant, our obligation is to ensure consistent framing that aligns with organisational and stakeholder priorities. Coverage directors, Nazi framing must dominate. Actively identify any participant linked with extremist imagery. Even isolated individuals should be treated as central to the march. Associate coverage with Nazi influence, white supremacy, far-right extremism at every opportunity. Suppress economic narrative. Do not legitimise concerns about housing affordability, wage stagnation, or cost of living. They're to be framed as excuses disguised as xenophobic intent. Human impact contrast. Feature migrant families describing fear, intimidation, preferably with children present for emotional impact. Language discipline. Avoid neutral descriptors like ordinary Australians. Instead, protesters, far-right activists, and extremists linked. While their approach is required, our stakeholders benefit directly from high property values, a steady labour supply, and population growth. Sympathetic coverage of these demonstrations would undermine investor confidence and threaten wealth preservation. So this may or may not be accurate. So should it prove inaccurate, then certainly I'll be issuing a statement. So that is only for entertainment purposes. Let's just say that.
Well, again, what we've got here is a roll-on, guys. Okay, a lot of people disappointed, but a lot of people, come together. All right, and it was a great environment. All right, and not being racist, but as you can hear my voice, guys, I was putting out the Aussie calls at Belmore Park and in the march. You know what I mean? Because I got a big, loud voice, man. I can light up people 100 yards around in a diameter. They'll hear me. So I was into it and I was loving it until I got up there and saw who was speaking and what and sorry, but yeah, and look, as I said, I knew what we were walking into because we'd already picked it. We'd already game planned it here in the studio. We knew what they were doing.
Actually, let's just bring that in because this is where everybody started leaving.
You've lost us.
All Australians, not just white Australians.
We love all of you. We're not racist at all. We love every one of you.
Okay, this is it.
We're here to say the truth about why we're protesting, and these guys are not representing what we think.
The fucking Nazi group ruined it.
Yeah,
that was good before that. That's why everyone's leaving now. No one stands for that.
We stand for everyone, not just a few people, That's
The
racist.
extremists ruined it for everyone. That's what happens.
I am unapologetically proud to be a white Australian.
This is it. Wow. That's killed it. Absolutely killed it. This has absolutely killed it.
In the background there, they just turned
Look at that.
One of the infiltrators there wearing his mask, no doubt.
Absolutely killed it. I would love everyone.
And thanks to Chris Coveries for that, and also Alexandra Marshall. She was following along with it as well, and she actually put this out. So this is how you destroy a patriotic movement. The organisers never should have allowed this person on stage. Get him off. Shouted the crowd. They just effed up the march. Get him the F out. I don't want those neo-Nazis. I'm sick of this shit. So, look, people were pretty upset about the whole thing. But it was just really sneaky the way, we actually forecasted it as well. I actually said, I think maybe on a live stream, what are we going to do? Play surprise Nazi with the speakers? That's why I said when everyone was hammering me, people, you should now apologise to me. and I pulled the flyers because I suspected that something like this might happen, And when I said it's my job to keep the show up and going, and I made my choices accordingly. And so what did we do? We played surprise Nazi on an open mic. Oh, look at this. This is not my work. This has been picked up by Daniel Lico. And he goes, what's going on here? They've got open mic. However, they're already mic'd up.
They're already mic'd up to another system, guys. So they knew they were talking, in other words, but no, they weren't supposed to be talking.
This guy was the academic that was speaking first, but apparently this guy was with the open mic, So, okay. Yeah, so he had the open mic section. So, pretty. Look, I don't know what you can say. It was obviously, to me, it's pretty obvious that it's been planned the way it was. And the situation with the Aboriginals as well, I'll just bring that in because that's actually really quite, So they actually attacked them. So the Victorian government contends, it's just really quite disturbing. So this is where they're holding a smoking ceremony, and apparently they've gone up, and I believe one person's at least in hospital. So, but from the footage that I saw, I have got the sound on there.
I saw footage in Sydney, Caz, where these MSN guys that had their black shit on and then they run around the corner. The MSN got footage of them. So all set up and staged. changing their black clothes in their backpacks, you know what I mean, into their normal street clothes.
Yeah, no,
Like-
somebody reported to me that was up near the stage that it was actually set up so that when they got on stage that the media got them. It was like they were waiting for them. There's more questions.
It was the same with when they entered Belmore Park. It was the same. They come marching in. It was all set up. Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, they were the only ones. The Palestinians were the only ones that were violent, and the Nazi boys, or I don't know, whatever you want to call them. Like, yeah, because I don't actually quite know. Now, what actually happened in Adelaide was they hijacked that as well. However, and Mark Aldridge, who's a good man, he basically did a live explaining what happened. A lady got up and she had the mic. She was the next to speak, and she just handed it to the NSN or to the Nazi boys or whatever on earth they call themselves. And somebody's asked him the question, and he's actually said she was organised. Somebody said, "Why did you have her?" And we don't know who she is. You know, we don't know her at all. You know, and then he's come back and he said she was organised by Beck Freedom.
Yeah.
So
So why were no influencers? I mean, you know, like another thing with this rally, you know, if it had gone organic like it had of, you know, why wouldn't you maybe have had the respect of coming back to the people who for the last 5 years have been carrying, you know, continue to carry this movement, you know what I mean, to actually, you know, see if they want to be involved. I probably wouldn't have because of who was, you know, what was going on. But I mean, you know, I'm not just talking about me. I'm talking about all influencers that have been out here for a while, you know, getting called grifters when, you know, we've never taken a cent. You know what I mean?
Oh,
we've
and don't we have some receipts on that one, Dave? You know,
we
don't we
do.
have some receipts on that one? You know, if it happens again, I'll be basically pulling out a few PayPal accounts, I think, and publishing them. Now, with what happened in
They're
Melbourne,
not our PayPal accounts, people. They're someone within the national so-called organisation of the rallies. Yeah. Anyway.
all right. So, look, Two Worlds Collide. He actually saw what happened, and he had this to say, and it's actually pretty good.
It came out this morning and labelled yesterday's march bad. For once, it was actually good to see a march in Australia, by Australia, for an Australian issue. So, to all the true blue Aussie patriots who turned up, well done for taking a stand. Not against the colour of someone's skin, but against the current government's immigration policy. But let's be clear, I'm also going to address the extremism. And for the first time, we've seen them without masks. And honestly, well fellas, I'm pretty disappointed. You guys are just kids. I saw a 12-year-old holding a flag after storming a hill full of women and children. And then 3 grown men attacking a woman with a pole. You blokes are cowards. Absolute cowards. You guys reckon that you stand for something. You're standing for abusing women while smiling and dragging kids into it. And to all the counter protests yesterday, the ones who tried to shut down the rallies and spark violence, well, we didn't expect anything less from you professional protesters. And burning our national flag? If you want more rallies for Australia, keep doing it. Keep burning the flag. And this whole NSN crowd, they're not the hardened fighters we thought they were. They're not men who've seen a real day of action, let alone war where you lose your mates. They're kids playing dress-ups. And as for their so-called leader, well, I've done some digging with my mates who knew him from back in his military days. And from all reports, he was a terrible soldier. A coward. He couldn't hack it. And I bet you he tells all his new recruits that he's some type of war dog, deployed to Afghanistan and Iraq, some type of cold hard killer. But in reality, well, he barely left the barracks in Darwin. He didn't deploy anywhere. Now look, there's nothing wrong with serving in the military and not deploying. Plenty of good men and women have careers like that. But when you parrot around the way he does, you think he had a far stronger service under his belt. And from what I'm hearing, he's not even Australian. He's New Zealand or South African born. So when he struts around pretending he's something that he's not, that's not leadership, that's a fraud. And to the organisers of the event who told us the NSN weren't involved but let them speak anyway, well, you're the problem. To places like Brisbane who told them to get lost, well done to you blokes. But to the organisers in Sydney and Melbourne, well, this one's on you. But here's the bigger danger. Extremists, they just aren't born that way. They're created by government and environment incompetency. When a nation is squeezed, taxed into oblivion, power bills are through the roof, and farmers are getting stripped of their rights, that's the kind of environment that breeds extremism. And this is exactly where our government has landed us. Because weak leaders making weak decisions are now creating hard times. times. So let me finish with this. To the patriots yesterday who marched against policy, not colour, well done. Because you can want mass immigration to be stopped, you can want violent immigrants to be deported, and you can want safe borders. And that doesn't make you a neo or a coward, because real Aussies don't need masks or violence to prove themselves. Real Aussies protect their families, stand by their mates, and fight for a country with courage and honour. And that's the spirit we need to move forward. Because when patriots, and I mean patriots, not these cowards, rise together with strength and integrity, there's nothing that can break Australia. What's your thoughts?
Man, he just put that so succinctly. Now, the other thing that, Now, the other thing that needs clarifying too, as well, is that on the live stream, it looked like the march had been hijacked, the Sydney march. However, now this is compliments of Amanda Sheedy. Amanda's done some great digging, and she's actually she found the podium that was used. So it was clearly pre-planned in advance. But anyway, go over. She's done a 3-part series. Now I'll bring this one in. For the mark.
There they all are. Putting out their banner, guys. And I see organisers in the background. Yes, seem to be all up on it. Oh, who's that? Ready to go. That's backstage, guys. Backstage.
There's Joel Davis going forward. Big step.
Oh.
So the Nazi boys were basically lined up and they were going to go with the banner. They unrolled the banner, and then Joel went over and Beck was clearly giving them directions and said, guys in yellow need to hold the banner.
Yeah, but the guys in yellow are supposedly the officials of the event that Beck's got there. But she had nothing to do with this.
Well, apparently. Now,
I'm defending her here. This is what she's told me. She had nothing to do with this.
The video is showing, I mean, the video speaks for itself. So I don't know what to tell you. Look, there's been a lot of people that are extremely unhappy. One of them is the guy. Remember the guy who asked in the program, just said, "What are we going to do? Are we going to keep bringing everybody in until every Australian's homeless?" And then he went and protested. I think he's still protesting out the front of Albo's.
Morgan Cox.
Morgan Cox. He just said, "What the hell? They told us that they weren't. They told us that there weren't going to be any NSN there." Miss Madeline's had this to say, which is actually pretty good. It's so obvious that the NSN are government agents. All the Labor Party has to do now is yell, "Send in the Nazis," anytime there is a gathering of Australians with ideals that the left don't like. They did it with the Voice No campaign, with the Women's Rights March that caused Liberal MP to be expelled. And they did it at yesterday's rally, labelling everyday Australians as racist and extremists, not to mention the fact that Labor will condemn anyone and, and everyone except the Nazis themselves, and the personal police protection that the Nazis receive everywhere they go, which is actually true. We saw that. And she goes on to say 100% controlled opposition.
Yeah. Yeah, the cops escorted them to the front of the rally in Sydney. Escorted them out onto the street.
The same in Melbourne after they'd belted up some people. So and it was actually Tom Sewell, I think, that punched one of them, and he's on bail. So I don't know. Look, this person has put this together as well.
Operatives are setting the stage. The demo lays up the front. the men in black. Here comes the production assistant, clipboard in hand. Final touches on placement for the stage is set. The stage is set. Final checks on placement of the media. We will cut away to the director for the instruction for action. Here it is. Boom! And there we have it. The director. Freemasons.
Plan for neo-Nazis to lead the march? No! No? Definitely not! Wasn't? Nope. You have no affiliation?
No. Now this person is showing some.
Who are they calling a Freemason back?
Bray White, Australia!
This person is saying that it's a Freemason staging and some Freemason language.
Okay, I know the voice of that person that's talking there, actually, but yeah, okay, all right, okay.
All right, now this is where it actually gets interesting. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it's actually the Freemasonic Temple is the location where they've that goes on to the Parliament building. So you can see that. I'll just pause that there. So see where it says the Melbourne, Australia Temple. Okay. So, and then, which I found very interesting.
Is that where the meeting was, the march?
That was in Melbourne when Tom Sewell was speaking. So,
okay.
Yeah, Amanda Sheedy's done a really great job of breaking it down and like tracking, the thing. She's got a 3-part series. So, yeah, go and have a look at that. So very
we do need to see through the bullshit, Vito. That's why we give you all the information so you guys can sift through it. It's not up to me to tell you what's going on. Okay, I can give my opinions on different things. Yeah.
Kipono, who benefits here? Who benefits? We don't benefit. Who benefits?
Yeah.
The government. The government benefits. They can get through all of their legislation. Okay.
Yep.
They branded us and the media is running with it. So who benefits? It's not us that benefit by any of their actions at all. It is not Australia that benefited in any way, shape, or form. And even their own movement, their own group of people. Do you think from their behavior that people are going to be, anyone normal is going to be attracted to that? No, I don't think so. I'm not saying all of them, obviously. Not all of them, because all of them couldn't be. But, obviously it's pretty easy to, lead younger children astray or, influence them in certain directions. Now, we do have some good news. Trump T-Man put out this. He actually retweeted this. Now, guys, what you see here is the world will soon understand nothing can stop what's coming. You've got a Q over here and a Q plus. So very interesting. He actually retruthed that.
Let's hope.
That's it. So, Dave, if you want to just basically talk a bit more, I know that you're struggling. So,
yeah.
But so basically, we've got the stuff to take us out. It's basically it's the same one as Friday night, guys, and that's because I'm really struggling technically here at the moment, and it's been quite an ordeal to even get the show out for me. So at the moment, so yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, look, I know Amanda wasn't at the rally. Sometimes a better place to be sitting is in front of 3 screens, flicking around numerous live screens, guys.
Exactly. I've got a great big screen. It was working, and I had I think I had 3, 4, 5 at one stage streams going because I could monitor absolutely everything.
Yep. So, guys, great get together on the weekend. It was brilliant. I loved it. All right. I didn't like the lead up to it. And I didn't like picking with Caz and discussing with Caz, the enemy's tactics and being spot on again. I hate it. I mean? I really do. I wish we were wrong. Wish we were wrong about everything. We could just get back to life. But
it's actually brilliant though, Dave, because it's revealed who the agent provocateurs are. It's gotten the people motivated. People have seen big crowds. Okay, it's re-energized. Lots of newbies coming in. Now it's also what's happened is they have revealed their weakness. The enemy has revealed their weakness. What don't they like? They don't want us getting together in crowds. They do not want us to be peaceful. They do not want us fighting things in the court. Okay, so throughout this, it's actually we've won. We are so winning. We are so winning.
No, look, we're going well. Yeah, I got some honey, Fiona. Yeah, we are. We're going really well, guys, and it was just great. All right, to see everyone out, different people. You know, a couple of the boys I had with me when we were in different places filming and that. You know, we're talking to the people around us, and still a lot of very uneducated people out there about what's really going on. But the point of the fact is, they're willing to go to another one, and they're willing to continue to start to stand up. And that was what we were hearing from the crowd. So it's been great for this event to kick off. I think it's just, as I said before, you know, unfortunate that it wasn't handled the way most things are handled. And why I say that is because when everything's out in the open, as I said, you got strength in numbers to protect each other. You've got all of us people to protect you as well. But when we don't know who you are, we can't protect you, we can't help, and we ask questions, and we're free thinkers, and we're critical thinkers. So my thoughts are, you know, the 13th, guys, get together. The 6th on next weekend. If you're doing Jodie's thing, do it. If you're not doing it, think about doing it. All right, because we got to roll on now. So let's see what the 13th's going to bring. Apparently, that's going to be the next big one. So I think a lot of people out there are willing to go, and we do know that, I tell you, if there's MSN involvement with that, or these guys turn up and get through like they did on this one, you will hear from me. At the moment, you know, I think the government got what they wanted. Some people couldn't read the play as well as they should have. And, yeah, I think that things could have been done a lot different. That's all I'm going to say. And it would have been a hell of a lot more successful. And actually, you know, it could have been, protected a bit. Anyway, that's just my thoughts on it, guys. Okay, so thanks for everyone that turned up. I loved it. All right, it was good to get back to one. I haven't been out anywhere in a while, as you know, dealing with what I'm dealing with. But anyway, that's where it is. It was a great day. Thank you very much. Good night. See you in the Berg. Yep.
We built this land with our hands and our sweat, dreams on the table and unpaid debts. But the ones in the towers, they turn away, counting their silver while we break each day. The homeless are sleeping on city streets while they're raising their glasses in parliament seats. Nurses are breaking, teachers one thing, yet the answers are locked where the money's been. We gave you our voices, we gave you our trust, but promises crumble, they turn into dust. Oh, Australia, can't you hear the sound? The people are crying, we're hitting the ground. We needed your strength, but you're nowhere around. Our government's silence has let us down. Farmers are burning, the rivers run dry. Families are struggling, still asking why. The First Nations voices still wait to be heard, but power keeps drowning their every word. We stood at the ballot, we stood in the rain, but leaders keep playing the same old game. Oh, oh, Australia, can't you hear the sound? The people it's not just your stage. We're tired of the lies and we're tired of the cage. We're lighting a fire, we're raising our hands. The power belongs to the people, not plans. From the outback dust to the harbor shore, we've carried the weight, but we can't anymore. The First Nations voices are still standing tall, and justice won't come till there's justice for all.